Hey guys, I am Big and Scary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay from Team Echo, this time featuring our top right-hand side, Echo's Clockwork, our Grandmaster's Blue Zerg, and on the bottom left we have ROOTnOCaner, also known as ROOTcats, our Grandmaster Red Zerg. It's Zerg versus Zerg. We're on Daybreak. It's going to be absolutely fantastic for everyone except for me, because there's going to be a lot of shouting involved, I'm sure. It used to be Heart of the Swarm was Wings of Liberty was such a peaceful place with Zerg versus Zerg. You had a lot of comeuppance, whatever the Zerglings and the Banelings and whatnot. It was very, very tense in the early game, but then it kind of mellowed out in the mid and late. And then now we've got Mutalisks to deal with, so the mid and late game are just absolutely nerve-wracking as well. Lots of screaming involved. Evidently, ROOTcats is not ROOTcats is not having a good day. Just in general on the ladder, I'm sure. It's a stressful place, especially with Zerg versus Zerg. So nothing absolutely fantastic coming out of either player. So we do have no spawning pool, no nothing. Could be a 15 pool, could 15 hatch. We've passed the 10 supply mark, past the 6 supply mark. So no cheese, which I'm sure everybody is satisfied for. Grandmaster cheese is still cheese, and it's still kind of boring after the initial I guess surprise has worn off, so I'm always favoring the macro game, especially whenever you have players of the caliber of Grandmaster. So always fun to be had there. 15 supply for both. Both have pretty much enough money to throw down those pools. What is it going to be? It looks like Cats is going for a hatchery first build, very ballsy, but you know, Daybreaks is a big place. Definitely has enough time to throw down a spawning pool and defend it, and also he's going to be working with, you know, that nice timing of the queens, and it looks like Clockwork is not going to be doing the aggressive stance of getting that pool first. He's getting out that hatch first also, so neither player is going to have too much problems securing their own natural. The aggression is going to be coming in the next couple of minutes. Looks like a gas is being grabbed by Clockwork. Just for the time being, it's going to be working on accumulating that gas so he can work on that speed as soon as the pool has finished. There goes the pool for both players, actually, really evening up pretty much neck and neck. But what can you expect? It's a Zerg versus Zerg. It's a mirror matchup. They're going to have the exact same moves, just like when it's Sub-Zero versus Sub-Zero, someone's getting frozen. I'm old. So the spawning pools are both pretty much halfway done. Cat's just now grabbing his own gas, even though the other one's finished. That's a cool play. Throwing the evolution chamber there. Evolution chambers have 250 extra health over a geyser, and that's really the only reason you would do that, is just for the extra health, extra shenanigans. It definitely delays timing. I believe you can still mine from that, especially with the positioning of the spawning pool makes it so it's very difficult to get out of the geyser. But in reality, this is just nothing more than an annoyance factor. I guess once the evolution chamber dies, if it's only a queen's going to be focusing down that evo chamber, the broodlings that are going to be coming out of that evo chamber could wreak a little bit of havoc to that mineral line. But besides the annoyance factor, really not much to be gained there. Just Cats being kind of cats. Overlord positioning just to scout that extra gas timing, and you know, there's not a lot of gas timing going down here for Clockwork. He is working on the first queen as well as that first speed. Back at home, Cats has got his own pool up, is also started on his speed. It looks like the speed's just a couple of seconds ahead for Clockworks, but in reality, the 1 or 2 seconds not going to make or break the game whenever you have players of this caliber. It will give him a small edge for just a couple of seconds, but you know, don't write home to your mother about it. First queen is out for Clockwork. Is going to be working on that evo chamber, but she's going to be working quite a long time if that's her only job. Probably going to be supported by some Zerglings in a matter of moments. Baneling Nest also being built for both players, more defensive Baneling Nest, I hope. Neither player has shown the want to be a very aggressive player right now. Both very much content to macro up, work on that larva count, work on that drone count. Need to grab some extra gas if they're going to intend on making a huge amount of Banelings. 18 Zerglings on the production tab right now for Clockwork, though. Could it be that he wants to deal with that evo chamber in a ridiculously quick fashion? Maybe. Probably not. He's probably going to be a little bit more aggressive with his speed going to be finishing, his Baneling Nest finishing. Look for an aggressive stance from Clockwork. Going to be pushing out, poking down at that natural, but neither player really has the advantage right now. The Broodlord's popping out, doing just a little bit of damage to those Zerglings, but nothing absolutely crazy. And we have not seen the gas being grabbed back up in the main for Clockwork, instead electing to grab his 2 down in the natural. We do see both being grabbed for Cats as well as the main. Wow, so all 4 gases being grabbed. Looks like both players are really committing to this 2-base play right now. Not surprising, it's going to be very, very back and forth. A defensive Baneling, aggressive posture from Cats, but it looks like the single Zergling from Clockwork was going to be targeting down that first Baneling. But man, those Banelings are just chasing after them like fat girls after jocks that just love me, love me. Good hit there from Cats on taking out a couple of Zerglings. A massive hit on the other one. My goodness. So all of a sudden those 18-some Zerglings from Clockwork's targeted down to only 4 remaining, and Cats still has plenty of Banelings to spare. So Clockwork is now going to have to be a little bit more defensive, but Cats is using this momentary respite to grab up his own lair. So that's cool. Focusing on tech rather than trying to grab another expansion, rather than trying to shoot out a huge number of Zerglings and actually go out and win the game. Cats is playing for the long term, playing on that tech advantage. 2 workers and okay, yeah, so he has finally grabbed that last extractor and is also working on a spire back at home. So there's that typical Zergling Mutalisk composition that we've seen pretty much everybody. The lair being grabbed for Cats. Is he going to be working on a spire himself? Remains to be seen. He started on that 4 gas a lot earlier than Clockworks, and so that means he's going to have a lot of extra gas. He's been using that extra gas on Banelings as well as tech in that layer up, Pneumatized Carapace. So all sorts of things that he could do with that extra gas. Right now he's just being a little bit more aggressive, moving out with his Zerglings. Where are the defensive Banelings back home? Oh no! Clockwork getting a nice surround on that queen. He has elected to get his own third, try to go for a little bit of an economic advantage, but with the quick rallying cry of all the Zerglings pushing out, it looks like Cats is going to have to retreat. Clockwork's just trying to get a surround and a direct engagement on these Zerglings because he has the numerical superiority. It looks like the majority of them are going to go down, only 4 remaining. They're going to have to push back. And also what's worth noting is that Cats is totally unaware of that third. I didn't think that he managed to swing down there with his Zerglings before. So this is going to be a huge advantage to Clockwork if he can manage to get it up and saturated, especially because that extra gas income will really factor into some extra Mutalisks early on. Infestor Pit going up for Cats, a nice decision here. The fungal growths are still good. I don't care how much you've nerfed them. They still do quite a lot of damage, especially to Mutalisks whenever they bundle up like that. And a player of Cats caliber won't have a problem with leading them because it's now a projectile. So this is a good play for him, a nice anti-Mutalisk decision. And also remember, that you have those swarm hosts, and those swarm hosts can do quite a lot of damage. Cats going in with quite a lot of damage. That single Baneling really wanting to engage. A nice explosion there, only getting 2. A good decision there by Cats to sacrifice one of his Zerglings for one of those Banelings. The other Baneling has taken some damage, but now the Mutalisks are on the field for Clockwork's going to be targeting down those Banelings first and foremost. A good decision there, making it so that now the biological warfare has been dealt with, and now only has to deal with is Zerglings. So the Zerglings using their incredible speed to just rush up, scout the spire. He's going to snipe the spire. No, he's going for the queen and a couple of the drones. Looking at the workers kill tab, actually doesn't manage to kill maybe 1 or 2. But before going into a direct engagement, what are those Mutalisks doing? That Mutalisk count is going to be climbing steadily. 10 mutas on the screen right now, and we have double gas being tapped down at the third. But now Cancer knows, no, not Cancer, Cats knows that third has been tapped. He's going to know that that place is very exposed, and he can push out with that. A nydus worm on the field right now. There's plenty of swarm hosts back at home, a couple of infestors too. What has been researched? Pathogen Glance has not been researched. Clockwork's going to town on these overlords, really just sniping them out left or right, but speed has been researched. Keep an eye on these overlords. He really wants to get one aggressively positioned so he can throw down that nydus network. It looks like he's patrolling, going to be missing that one overlord. It looks like he's just out of range of the vision of those buildings, and that overlord's just a little bit mispositioned from Clockwork to scout it, catching one of these overlords by luck only, and it looks like the other one's going to be moving off to the north side. But does he have that watchtower? Yeah, he's got that watchtower. And it looks like, yeah, he's going to be sacrificing it right over those Zerglings, so that one goes down too. So this really sucks for Cats. He needs to get that nydus network positioned somewhere. Truthfully, I would have moved it off to the north side, well, a couple of my overlords off to the north side and moved them over to the right, but that's just me. I'm not Grandmaster. So there goes the nydus network. It's going to get scouted because it was positioned right by an extractor, but that's really all that Cats has in his wheelhouse right now. Is the only overlord he had aggressively positioned, and he's supply blocked, sending out an enormous fleet of his overlords trying to go left, right, anywhere to spawn creep as well as to scout. It looks like those queens are definitely going to be having a hard time to waddle all the way over to that third. But man, I don't know. I don't know. Those Mutalisks are going to go to town on those queens. How much energy do they have? They got quite a lot of energy. They'd be able to transfuse themselves, and they do quite a bit of damage. There goes another Nydus network. I feel it looks like those Mutalisks are going to target it down before retreating. And look at this. A couple more Overlords are going to be poking in on either side, but no, the Overlords from Clockwork scouting them out, sniping that one down. It looks like the one in the top left has remained hidden for the time being. The queens are getting targeted and just surrounded like no one else's business, but here comes the infestors. Plenty of energy throwing down so many fungal growths, but those fungal growths are on Zerglings, not on these Mutalisks. A huge swell of Mutalisks coming in, sniping down, and you know, Cats just couldn't engage in the manner that he wanted to engage. He needed to get that Nydus network down. Yeah, he did get pretty much every Overlord on the map. He missed a handful, but nothing. Oh, magical mutas. Oh no, poor Cats. He was having a bad day before, and I guess this is just making him have a worse day. So what are you gonna do? You know, the Mutalisks are so super fast, and he had good scouting. I mean, he had this watchtower this entire time. His Overlords were pretty well spread out. So anytime Cats was going to be moving out, he knew about it, and there goes the hack. That's just a shame. It looks like Cats is going to be tacking out. I know what he's talking about, so let me just do this. Switch it back to about the 11-minute mark. It's about the 11-minute mark, right? Yeah, he was working on this first Overlord, so let's go 10 minutes, and I'll times 8 it, and we'll look at from Clockwork screen. There we go. So he's dealing with the Zergling aggression. His Mutalisks are just going to be hitting out on the field right now. And I believe what he does is he sends his Mutalisks down once the Zerglings have been dealt with, down to check out the third, which is when he runs into it. Check out the mini-map, you know, the bottom left-hand side right here. There goes the Mutalisks. He's moving them down just to check out the third. And when he does, there's your first Overlord. It just gets picked off because they were on a move command. So that's one. Let me see. What are the other ones? We go back to the camera. Okay, there's the other one, flying right over Xel'Naga Watchtower. Can't really miss that one. So Clockwork's going to deal with that one, no problem at all. It looks like his Zerglings have scouted down on the bottom left-hand side. He hasn't scouted into the top right, but that's basically where he'd grab his own fifth, I guess. So sacrificing in those. I don't know if there was another death of an Overlord anytime soon. He never catches the one just to the right of his natural, this guy right over here. But he comes pretty damn close. It's just because that Overlord's just in a bit more of a traditional location. The Zerglings, once again, just being aggressively positioned down there. Back to his camera. I guess he's just macroing. We'll speed this up a little bit. There goes another one scouted. Let me look at this. And this is more for my benefit more than anything else, kids. Alright, so he was moving where? Down to the bottom left, I guess? I don't know. It was just on the edge of the screen of the Xel'Naga Watchtower. He's got good scouting here. I'm interested to see. There goes another one just on the edge of his vision, but even if he hadn't caught it with the Mutalisk, who's going to catch it with the Zerglings? I think that was all of them. Oh, and yeah, that was all of them, because then he finally moves in with the Overlord. I honestly don't think Clockwork was hacking. He's just good. I mean, you don't get to Grandmasters without being able to snipe off some Overlords. He didn't get every single one. He did have good positioning. He did have, he did have good vision. And end of the day, Cass was having a bad day, and I can see why, because he was getting just demolished by Mutalisks, I guess. This is a fantastic build, though. I absolutely love the Nydus Network. I also love you guys, so if you have a game you want me to cast, you could PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Big and Scary. Bye.